Hello, everyone, and welcome to the InvestorFeed Lead Generation MVP Quick Start Guide, where you're going to be watching me set up a high net worth investor Facebook ads lead generation campaign live in less than 30 minutes with InvestorFeed. So here's exactly what we're going to be covering in this training today. In section number 1, I'm going to be introducing you to the new predictable, automated, and scalable method of connecting with high net worth investors online. In section number 2, we're going to be going over how our $100 billion plus InvestorAudience Network has unlocked the ability to advertise direct to investor online. In section number 3, we're going to be going over the step-by-step guide to actually setting up a Facebook ads investor lead generation MVP campaign. In section number 4, we're going to be discovering our proprietary digital fundraising operating system to raising capital on autopilot for virtually any business venture. So with that being said, let's begin. So traditional fundraising versus digital fundraising. So the traditional strategies of raising capital in a more one-to-one manual format were very inconsistent, time and effort inefficient, and mostly unpredictable once tapped out of your closest network of family and friends. So the first step traditionally would be utilizing some form of manual one-to-one attention generation strategy to actually get in front of investors, such as cold calling, cold emailing, spamming LinkedIn DMs, or in-person networking and meetups, which is normally where the majority of your time would be spent, working up to 40 plus hours per week, with the majority of your time just being wasted on unqualified and or uninterested prospects, which is just incredibly inefficient. Then hopefully, if you're lucky, you'll be able to get some prospects that are actually somewhat interested and manually convert them into an outbound cold lead within your pipeline with the potential to invest with you. Then next, you'll begin performing manual one-to-one nurturing of the leads in your pipeline, spending a large majority of your own time personally answering all of their questions, wining and dining them, and building a connection with them while educating them on your investment thesis, with the hope that in the final step of the process, after all that time you've spent getting their attention and nurturing them over the course of months or even years, that they'll actually end up investing with you. But as we all know, the final result is very unpredictable using these type of strategies, and that's normally not how it ends up turning out. It ends up being normally a big waste of your time and effort. But now, the new way with digital fundraising, we create and film our perfect pitch for our investment in a video, and we set up a simple ad campaign to present our perfect video pitch in a one-to-many format directly in front of high net worth investors online, non-intrusively inside their social media newsfeed for as little as just $50 per 1,000 investor views, with virtually zero manual personal time and effort required. Then, in the next step, investors will self-select your video ad by clicking on it in their newsfeed, displaying clear interest and intent in your investment strategy, and fill out all of their contact information on your website to convert into an inbound warm lead within your pipeline. Once again, all happening automatically with zero personal manual time or effort required on your part. Then in the next step, you'll be able to nurture your prospective investor leads in a one-to-many format, once again through social media and email automations with high-quality educational content that they can watch on their own time at any time to build a connection, educate, and nurture your leads in a super high-leverage format where you create that content once and it can be watched by an infinite number of people at one time and continually provide value and educate your leads forever while it stays up, published on the internet. Then finally, once ready to launch your investment offering, you can send out a couple of emails to your pipeline, plus leverage the engagement data from your content and website to have your investor relations team prioritize their outreach to the most engaged and qualified leads with the highest intent to invest, allowing you to be super efficient with your manual time and effort. So that's the difference between traditional fundraising and digital fundraising. So why is direct-to-investor digital fundraising ultimately the number one superior strategy to connecting with individual high net worth investors in this new digital-first era? Well, to start off, as we kind of already talked about, it's scalable one-to-many high net worth investor acquisition. So it's super high leverage in comparison to with traditional fundraising where it's inefficient manual one-to-one acquisition. Then next, with digital fundraising, it's inbound intent-based marketing where interested investors actually come to you in comparison to cold outbound unpredictable marketing with a virtually unknown interest in your investment strategy, or even if they're qualified just in general. Then next, for digital fundraising, you have an extensive, dynamically updated individual user data profile on these different ad platforms where they know all of their users' demographic information, they know their behavioral information, what websites they're visiting, and they also know their financial information. In comparison to with traditional fundraising where you're doing cold outreach and you have essentially a very minimal individual data profile. Maybe you know the person's job title, maybe you have some form of estimation of their demographics, and you have no behavioral understanding of them whatsoever. And then number 4 here with digital fundraising, and this is incredibly important, you have automated gradual pixel targeting optimization, meaning that the more conversions that you get on your pixel, on your advertising pixel, so the more people that schedule a call with you, the better the targeting becomes and the more they hone in on your exact ideal investor avatar in comparison to with traditional fundraising where there's zero automated gradual targeting optimization. So that's exactly why digital fundraising is ultimately the number one superior strategy to connecting with these individual high net worth investors in this new digital first era. So the only problem with digital fundraising is that traditionally it has been very complicated and expensive to target specifically high net worth investors with paid advertising online because of the increasingly worsening ad platform restrictions, which I'm sure you may have heard about in the past. There's just a couple articles that we have posted on this page right here kind of talking about that. But traditionally it has been very complicated and expensive to target these high net worth investors until now. Introducing InvestorFeed, our $100 million plus high net worth investor audience network. So the problem, as we kind of just talked about, there's billions of users online, but only approximately 14% of the USA qualify as accredited investors or someone who has, a decent amount of capital liquid in order to invest, $50,000 to $100,000 in your fund or syndication. So how do you focus your resources and efforts on engaging only specifically this qualified high net worth investor audience? Well, the solution is our InvestorFeed pre-built $100 million plus investor audiences, which can be directly uploaded into any advertising platform as a custom audience to target with paid advertising in just a couple of simple clicks. So InvestorFeed has truly democratized the fundraising process by enabling capital raisers to advertise directly to high net worth investors right inside their newsfeed with zero gatekeepers like Wall Street or Silicon Valley VCs. So for capital raisers, it gives anyone with an idea and a dream the ability to advertise their investment directly in front of our $100 billion plus proprietary network of pre-qualified high net worth investors to raise capital without cold calling, meetups, or even leaving your home office. So we've truly democratized and decentralized the fundraising process because you're no longer beholden to a small exclusive group of gatekeepers on Wall Street or Silicon Valley anymore that will ultimately even decide if your idea will even be seen or not. And we do not charge any percentage of capital raised like any of these crowdfunding or capital raising agencies, allowing you to save hundreds of thousands to even millions of dollars. But the best part about this system that we've created is it's not just good for the capital raisers, but it's also good for the investors as well, because it gives high net worth investors the ability to view quality investment opportunities non-intrusively, keyword non-intrusively, inside their social media newsfeed online on their own time without any annoying interruptions. So there's no cold calls, there's no one cold calling them, there's no one cold emailing them, nothing like that, because their contact information is kept 100% private, protected, and fully encrypted and can only be used for advertising purposes. So investors basically have complete control to self-select which investment opportunities they want to interact with. So if they like the deal, they can click on the ad and contact the company. But if they don't, they simply just keep on scrolling through the newsfeed. It's very, very simple and non-intrusive. So it works. It's a great system for both the capital raisers and the investors, both parties involved. So next, I want to explain exactly how we engineer our investor audiences in order to actually be able to advertise directly to pre-qualified high net worth investors. So we offer 3 different investor audiences within our InvestorFeed network. Number 1 is going to be our base investor audiences. So I'm going to give a high-level description of each of these investor audiences here, and then we're going to dive deeper into exactly how each of these investor audiences are created and how they work in the next slides. So to start off, we have our base investor audience, which is a pre-built, dynamically updated seed data set of high net worth investor avatars with custom curated specific behaviors, characteristics, and attributes that directly indicate the highest likelihood to invest across a variety of different investment types. Then next we move into our lookalike investor audiences, which are pre-built 1 million person plus expanded lookalike audience data sets, which leverage ad platforms' powerful AI algorithms plus their massive user databases to identify an audience that directly match the attributes and behaviors of our uploaded seed audience data set with the highest statistical relevance score. And then we have our ultra wealthy lookalike investor audiences, which are pre-built advanced value-based lookalike audiences that target the 10 million person plus ultra wealthy population segment of the USA on their platforms, on the ad platforms that directly match the patterns of attributes and behaviors of your uploaded seed audience with the highest statistical relevance score. So now let's dive deeper into exactly how these audiences work. So starting off with our base investor audience. So our team of data engineers manually compile data sets utilizing a variety of legal and compliant data sources, including data providers, public records, our own proprietary research and development paid data acquisition department, and strategic data ad and website network partnerships. And then we leverage AI-powered algorithms to scan the billions of data points and build our own proprietary investor audiences, with each custom tailored for different investment niches based on their intent and demographic data attribute layered combinations. And also, our investor audiences are dynamically updated with fresh new investors on a daily basis. So there's two components to our custom-built proprietary based investor audiences that allow us to target the most qualified high net worth investors based on demographic data, then layered with the highest likelihood to invest in specific different investment markets based on our real intent signals. So the demographic data points include factors such as financial demographics, so credit scores, home and car ownership details, debt, and others, which we can utilize to include or even exclude to further clean our data set to remove any false positives. Then once we have our qualified investors based on these specific data points, such as network, education, salary, gender, age, job title, location, etc., then we can even further enhance the data set by layering in our real intent data points to really hone in on the most qualified high net worth investors that are most likely to invest in a variety of different investment types. And we use the name real intent data points to put emphasis on the fact that these are actual real actions of intent compared to traditional targeting options without InvestorFeed by ad platforms like Facebook, where their indication of intent is someone randomly just liking a post in their newsfeed related to a specific interest, which has very little relevance, and one of the main reasons why most paid advertisers are struggling with high net worth investor lead generation. So the real intent data points include factors such as keyword searches, websites visited, investment history, purchase interest, and even business owner niches. So this right here is our exact AI-powered proprietary demographic and real intent layering process to build the most powerful investor audiences that you could possibly have for paid advertising in almost any financial or investment industry, period. So next we are on to our lookalike investor audiences. So now we utilize those base seed investor audiences, those data sets with custom tailored investment niche specific intent and demographic attribute combinations, and then we upload those into ad platforms such as Facebook or Google, where they leverage their powerful AI machine learning lookalike modeling algorithms to scan their massive 1 billion person plus user database to build a custom expanded 1 million person plus lookalike audience data set of their users based on their scary set of data points for the 10-year plus lifetime of virtually every single user on their platform that directly match the exact patterns of characteristics, attributes, and on-platform behavioral data of your exact uploaded seed audience with the highest statistical relevance score. So that's pretty advanced, but now I think this will help you out in understanding this a lot better. So here's an example scenario that breaks down our proprietary lookalike investor audience modeling process. So in step number 1, we build a clean seed audience of around 3,264 data profiles with specific custom curated attributes, including the person being a male, the person being 50 plus years old, they have a $3 million plus net worth, they have a $250,000 per year income, and they all own at least $1 million plus in multifamily real estate. So we take that seed audience data set and then we upload it directly into an ad platform such as Facebook, and then they will scan their massive user database of over 1 billion plus users and identify a grouping of 1 million plus users that best match the attributes of our uploaded seed audience with the highest statistical relevance score. And once again, based on the scary amount of data points and behavioral actions that they've accumulated on virtually every single user on their platform for the lifetime of their account, which could be 10 plus years. So it's very, very accurate. And then in step number 3, they build a custom hyper-targeted lookalike investor audience of 1 million plus users for us, which you can request to upload into your own Facebook ad account so that you can directly target with paid advertising, in comparison to virtually no targeting if you were to go the traditional route without InvestorFeed, as we just talked about. So that's exactly how our lookalike investor audiences work. And now let's move into our ultra wealthy lookalike investor audiences. So we've invented our own version of this advanced value-based lookalike audience feature, where we upload seed audiences of the most ultra wealthy investor data profiles and have Facebook build a lookalike investor audience targeting the 10 million person plus ultra wealthy audience segment across the USA that's actually on their platform, once again based on their massive data points on each and every user that are most likely to be ultra wealthy investors, plus most likely to actually convert into investment, plus even better, be most likely to provide the largest investment sizes because they are most likely to be ultra wealthy. So that's exactly how our ultra wealthy lookalike investor audiences work. So now let's go into the 3 core components of a paid advertising investor lead generation campaign. So to start off, we have your investor audience targeting. So this is going to be the selected audience with specific characteristics and attributes that you want to show your ads to with your paid advertising campaign. Then we move into your advertising creative. So this is going to be the creative design setup of your advertisement, including the headline, the body text, and your image or video creative in order to attract your ideal investor avatar that you're going to be advertising to. And then number 3 here, and this is super important, this is your AI conversion pixel optimization. So on every single ad platform, there's an AI machine learning algorithm that essentially gradually optimizes your ad campaign targeting based on your newly acquired conversion data. So as we kind of talked about at the start of this training, the more people that you're able to get to, the more qualified people and the better data that you get that are scheduling calls with your company, that are becoming new leads for your company, the more qualified conversions, qualified leads, qualified calls that you can generate, the better the ad platform's AI targeting algorithm is able to optimize and hone in on your exact ideal investor avatar. So these 3 levers right here will ultimately determine how successful your paid advertising campaign will be in connecting with your ideal investor avatar, and even better, at the lowest cost possible. So here's exactly what a paid advertising high net worth investor lead generation campaign will look like at a high level. So you have the Facebook ad. Then you have your investor audience targeting. Then you're going to be sending them to either an instant form, which is exactly what we're going to be doing in our training today, which basically opens up natively within the Facebook platform, or you can also send them to a website. And then what happens is you have that pixel, as you can see on the upper right-hand corner right there, and basically you can look at every single ad campaign as a mini AI model. So with every lead that you convert on your website right there, as you can see, you are feeding the ad platform pixel, training their AI machine learning models to hone in their AI targeting on your exact customer data profile on their platform, utilizing all of their accumulated data on each and every user to generate higher quality leads at even lower costs. So if you're feeding the pixel with quality conversion data, it's gonna hone in even better on your exact ideal investor avatar. But if you feed it bad data, the exact opposite can happen, and that's the exact problem that InvestorFeed solves right here. So not only are you able to advertise directly to your exact ideal investor avatar utilizing our investor audiences, but also because you're able to target a much higher quality audience, and you know that you're targeting a much higher quality audience, you're going to be able to feed the ad platform targeting pixel with even better data. So it's basically just a synergistic effect of better targeting for your paid advertising campaigns. So that's essentially how a paid advertising high net worth investor lead generation campaign works at a high level. And now the reason that InvestorFeed is so incredibly powerful is that we've developed features that will essentially allow you to get your own minimum viable qualified investor lead generation system set up in as little as just 24 hours. So you're able to leverage our Investor IQ feature to start off in cloning the top performing ads and websites in your exact investment industry, combined with our investor audiences that allow you to target your exact ideal investor avatar in order to begin automatically generating 5 to 10 plus pre-qualified inbound high net worth investor leads per day in as little as just 24 hours. So now let's get into the step-by-step process in order to actually do that and set up this entire system. So in step number 1, as we just talked about, you're going to clone the top performing ads with our Investor IQ feature. So we're going to start off going through the step-by-step process in these slides right here, and then we'll actually go into InvestorFeed and perform a live demo of this entire setup so you can see it in real time. So for step number 1, you're going to go to the Investor IQ feature. You're going to filter based on your specific investment industry. So you can filter and only see the ads that are currently running right now successfully in your exact investment industry. And then you're going to filter based on days running. So the longer the amount of time that an ad's been running for, so let's say an ad's been running for 100 days, the more likely that ad is to be incredibly successful, because someone's not going to be spending $50, $100, $1,000 per day on an advertisement for 100 days if it's not actually working. So that's an incredibly powerful feature that we can utilize to find the most successful ads in your exact investment industry to clone based on actual ad platform data. So then in step number 2, we're going to bookmark the top 3 to 5 of your favorite ads that you believe will work best based on your intuition for your specific investment opportunity. And then in step number 3, you're going to create your own ad modeling your top 3 to 5 favorite bookmarked ads, including the headline, the body text, and the creative, either an image or a video, based on those top performing ads. So very, very simple. Then next, once you have those ads cloned, you're going to import an investor audience from InvestorFeed of your exact ideal investor avatar into your Facebook advertising account. So for step number one, you're simply just going to click request an investor audience button and type in your Facebook ad account ID where you would like the investor audience to be imported. And then in step number two, you're going to scroll through our entire catalog of investor audiences to find your best investor audiences of your specific ideal investor avatar that you would like to advertise directly to. Then in step number three, we're actually going to set up our Facebook ad instant form campaign. So the purpose of this instant form campaign, if you don't already know what this is right here, so the purpose is to capture the contact information of prospective investors directly natively. That's the value proposition. You're able to set up this contact form directly natively within the Facebook advertising platform without having to create a website or a landing page by utilizing these instant forms, which pop up upon the click of an advertisement. And the best part about this is because there's much lower opt-in friction, it basically allows you to get a much higher overall lead conversion rate. So the people that actually click the ad, more of them actually end up typing in their contact information and becoming a lead. So it's much more simple to do. And just two other benefits here. So we kind of just talked about this, but you're able to generate qualified inbound investor leads at the lowest cost of any type of advertising campaign because you're able to get those higher conversions from instant forms. Plus, the majority of the time, the contact information is already pre-filled in that instant form. So there's much less opt-in friction. And reduced funnel steps overall, since it basically just pops up, they type in their contact information, and boom, gets sent directly into your CRM. And also, as we just talked about, it does not require any website, funnel, or landing pages to be set up at all, as everything can be done natively through the advertising platform. So it's the quickest and easiest funnel to set up. It legitimately takes less than 15 minutes. And we're going to do it in front of you live right now in this training here. So here is essentially how the instant form funnel breaks down. So you have step number one, which is going to be the Facebook ad. They click the Facebook ad, and then it pops up an instant lead form where they're going to type in their contact information and also answer any of your qualification questions, such as, are you a accredited investor, to instantly qualify them up front. And then they move to the instant form thank you page where they basically just give them confirmation that their information was typed in. And then also there's a button at the bottom so they can go to your website, or you can provide them any other form of value that you'd like. So now let's just go into each and every step here. So in step number one, as we just talked about, you have the Facebook ad. So the purpose of the Facebook ad is to engage, grab attention, and attract your targeted ideal investor to click onto your advertisements in order to open up the Facebook instant lead form to begin the conversion process where you'll take investors from cold prospect to an inbound prospective investor lead within your pipeline. So I'm going to be breaking down the exact Facebook advertising layout. So this is going to be the highest converting Facebook advertising layout. This is exactly how you want to create your Facebook ads. And as we just talked about, you're going to be able to clone the top performing ads using our Investor IQ feature, but it's also good to just know exactly the best way to set up your Facebook advertisements in general. So to start off, we have the scroll stopping lead. So since Facebook is a newsfeed based platform, you 100% must have a great first 3-line lead, which gets your target prospect to actually stop their scroll in their newsfeed and actually take the time to read or watch the rest of your ad. So a good tip here is to call out your exact target ideal investor avatar and write out a hook to your advertisement creative angle to build interest and curiosity amongst those targeted prospects. So for example, as you can see on the left side here, it says accredited investors. So they're directly calling out their ideal investor avatar, and it essentially qualifies them up front because no one's going to click that if they're not an accredited investor. So that's very important. And then you have the hook statement. Are your current investments leaving you with mediocre returns and uncertainty in a fluctuating market? So that's a great hook to their exact ideal investor avatar. Then next we have the written body text copy. So Facebook gives you the ability to add written body text to your advertisement, so you can provide a short form written version of your specific advertisement creative angle as a second type of viewable medium for your investor prospects, because some people are visual and some people like to read. So that is your perfect opportunity to write out exactly why your specific investment is best personalized for your exact ideal investor avatar. Then next we move into the call to action. So there must always be a call to action to perform a certain desired action. So whether it be to click the ad, whether it be to sign up, to schedule a call, etc., within your advertisements on Facebook, within both your visual and your written mediums. Then we have the actual visual ad creative. So you can either do a video or an image. Video definitely normally works better, but if you would like to just get something up real quick, you can use an image as well. So this is going to be the main visual section of your Facebook ad where you'll be able to add your main visual creative angle, whether that be a video or an image, which is going to grab the attention of your ideal investor avatar by hooking them visually and then attracting them to click onto your ad in order to perform the next steps in the conversion process. So another tip here, if you're going to be using video, then you must make sure the first 3 to 5 seconds of your video actually captures the investor prospect's attention without requiring sound, since 80% of people watch video on Facebook. This is an actual statistic. They watch videos on Facebook without the sound. So it's important to use custom-made captions as well if you're going to be using video content, so that people can actually understand what's going on without having to turn the sound on. And then lastly, here we have the scroll stopping headline. So as a secondary scroll stopper, you must craft the headline of your Facebook ad next to the call to action button to catch the attention of your investor prospects. So keep it short, concise, and easily readable when skimming through the Facebook newsfeed. So that's exactly how you want to set up your Facebook ad. Then next, we have the instant lead form. So the purpose here is to convert your ideal investor avatar into a lead all natively within the Facebook platform through their instant lead form feature by typing in their contact information, plus also filling out any qualification questions you may have in order to learn more or perform the desired action with your company. So another great strategy that you can utilize in order to increase your overall lead conversion rate, so the amount of people that click on your ad that actually end up typing in their contact information to become a lead, is to provide some form of tangible value or deliverable in combination, such as providing a downloadable resource, an ebook, the ability to register for a webinar, schedule a consultation call, etc. Just some form of other tangible value that they're going to be receiving in order to kind of more entice them to type in their contact information. So how do we want to lay out our instant lead form? Well, to start off, we have the intro hero banner image. So you're going to display a banner image that grabs attention from your ideal investor avatar and attracts them to type in their contact information and qualification questions into the required fields. So you can just utilize a simple headline and subheadline format within your banner image to make things easy. Then next, we have the instant lead form headline. So this is incredibly important because you need to grab the attention and attract your ideal investor avatar with a compelling headline to describe your investment venture, which the prospective investor will learn about upon opt-in. Then next, we have the instant lead form description. So you're going to write out a supporting description that goes into some more details surrounding your investment venture that help grab even more attention and attract prospective investors to opt in to learn more. And then we have the two-step sign-up qualification form. So prospects first answer any qualification questions on the first step of the instant form. So such as, are you a accredited investor? What does your liquidity look like? As you can see on the left side here, do you have $50,000 liquid to invest today? You can also ask them, what is your experience in a specific investment type, etc. And then next, on the second step of the instant form, they're going to be typing in their contact information, including name, email, and phone number, with a call to action button to submit all the info to finalize the opt-in. So that's step number 2. And then in step number 3, we have the instant form thank you page. So the purpose here is simply just to confirm to the new prospective investor lead that they have fully completed the sign up process and then provide them the next steps that will occur for them. So the way you want to lay the thank you page out is you want to start off with the headline. So you're just going to display confirmation to the newly opted in prospective investor that they've completed the opt-in process. And then if you included any deliverables that they receive upon opt-in, you're going to let them know they're going to receive those as well. And then next we have the description. So you're going to display a short description of the next steps that will occur now that they've actually signed up. And then also you have the call to action button. So this essentially just gives prospective investors the ability to go to a destination URL, which you can type in order to receive more details or value. So this is exactly where you would want to provide any deliverables that you've provided to them upon opt-in. So once again, you can use this in combination with other deliverables such as webinar registration. So you can send them to a webinar registration page. You can send them to the page where they can download the resource that you provided to them. You can allow them the ability to join your Facebook group or some other form of group, to watch a video, just any other form of tangible deliverable or value. So those are the 3 steps to your Facebook ad instant form funnel. So just to give a recap, we have step number 1, which is going to be your Facebook ad. They click onto the Facebook ad, it pops up the instant lead form natively within the Facebook platform where they can type in their contact information, plus also answer any qualification questions. They click submit on your instant lead form, then they move to step number 3, which is going to be the instant form thank you page. So now that we understand the structure of a Facebook ad instant form campaign, let's actually break down step by step how to set it up. So part number 1, in setting up a Facebook ad instant form campaign. So for the first step, you're going to be choosing your campaign objective, which is going to be leads. That will allow you to optimize for the specific advertising objective, which is going to be instant form fills, which you'll be advertising in your cold advertising campaign. So this is incredibly important here. You want to make sure for any cold advertising campaigns to use the conversion objective, which for this instance is going to be leads. So the lead conversion objective is the main objective that will set up the Facebook targeting algorithm to optimize in finding the best prospects that are most likely to fill out an instant form to become a lead, or whatever your specific conversion objective will be. But once again, for this specific instant form campaign, it's going to be leads. And then there's other objectives that you can utilize, but for these ones right here, awareness or traffic, you're going to want to use these for more of a retargeting campaign for people that have already opted in and became a lead within your pipeline. So we have the awareness objective where you can optimize for video views or reach frequency. So this objective will be used for mostly prospecting campaigns to get video views of your conversion content at a low cost to retarget them. And you don't want to utilize these type of campaigns for cold advertising because you're essentially telling the Facebook targeting algorithm to not optimize for getting prospects to perform certain actions, but rather just priming them with information and building omnipresence at a low cost. So it's not as effective. Then we have traffic, which will allow you to get cheap clicks. But once again, because you're not optimizing for conversions, but instead just getting clicks, you're essentially telling Facebook to optimize to find prospects that are most likely to click on your ads at a cheap cost. And this is not good for cold advertising because you haven't identified these people are even interested whatsoever in your company. It's just optimizing for people that are most likely to click and not actually become a lead, not actually become a scheduled call, not actually become an investor. So that's very important. So part number 2. So for step number 2, we're going to create a campaign name with the proper naming conventions to stay organized in your Facebook ad dashboard with the format of company name, then a divider, campaign type, then another divider, campaign objective. So an example here would be IM capital, divider cold for cold advertising campaign type, and then another divider for your conversion instant form leads. So that would be the campaign objective. So for step number 3, you can switch your campaign objective if you like from the initial selection plus change your campaign buying type. But for this example, we're just going to keep it at the default. Step number 4, this is optional. You can create A/B split test with your campaigns, which will test a variety of different versions of ads to improve your overall ad performance. Not required whatsoever. Step number 5, and this is optional as well, is you can enable Advantage Campaign Budget Plus to allow Facebook to distribute your budget automatically based on their own algorithms. And this is just a pro tip here based on millions of dollars in advertising spend. All the ad platforms are optimized to spend as much of your money as possible and spread that spend across all of their ad inventory, no matter the overall quality and performance. So we would recommend to give them the least amount of control possible over your campaigns. So basically, in a nutshell here, Facebook optimizes to spend as much of your money as possible. So you want to make sure to keep as much control because you only want to be targeting the best audiences possible on the best placements possible. And we're going to be getting a little bit more into that in a second here. So for part number 3 and step number 6, we're going to create a campaign name with the proper naming conventions to stay organized in your Facebook ad dashboard once again, but now we're at the ad set level. So to start off, we were at the campaign level. Now we're at the ad set level where you can select different audiences to advertise to. So for this format, it's going to be your campaign type, which for this example, it's going to be cold advertising. So it's going to be cold campaign, your campaign objective, which is going to be conversion instant form leads, and then also your audience. So for this example, we're going to be using an investor audience. Then step number 7, you're going to choose your conversion location. So you can select your specific conversion location type for your campaigns that you would like Facebook to optimize for, which will be in this instance, instant forms. So you're going to select that to create an instant form campaign. And then some extra options when utilizing our investor audiences, you can turn off the frequency cap or set it to the lowest setting since they're already known to be pre-qualified prospects in the overall audience. So Facebook essentially allows you to select your frequency, so how many times one person is going to see your ads. But if you're going to be utilizing our investor audiences, since we already know these are highly qualified prospects, you can just turn that frequency cap off. Then for step number 8, you're going to set your daily budget you will spend on your ad set. So a target budget for your ad sets we recommend be at least 2 to 3x the CPA, so the cost per set conversion objective. So for example, if you're running instant form lead gen campaigns at $50 per lead, then you'll want to set your daily budgets at a minimum of $100 to $150 per day for optimized performance. So you can set it at less if you'd like, but you're just going to get better performance overall if you set it at least 2 to 3x the CPA. So next, step number 9, you're going to build your audience, which you would like to target with your advertising campaign. And also make sure to actually set up your conversion pixel before starting your campaign. So if you already created your Facebook account, you've most likely set up your conversion pixel. But if you haven't yet, make sure to check out our standard operating procedure in order to set up your Facebook conversion pixel. Or you can also hire someone from our quick hire Rolodex in order to set that up for you for less than probably $20 to $50. Very simple. Some example cold advertising audiences that you can utilize. Obviously, you're going to be uploading one of our investor audiences, but just to give you some examples here, you can utilize interest, so you can advertise a different interest. I would definitely not recommend that. We haven't seen good results for that. It's basically just people who click on different Facebook posts or like different Facebook posts that have a certain interest. So it's not really that good of a targeting option. Then we have our InvestorFeed investor audiences. So we're going to be showing you exactly how to request those and upload those directly into your Facebook advertising account in a little bit further into this training here. Then you have your custom conversion lookalikes. So these are going to be You're essentially able to create your own personal lookalike audience, but it requires that you actually have at least 1,000 investors, scheduled calls, or leads, which is going to end up costing you probably tens of thousands of dollars to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the best part about this is you don't even have to do that and spend that money, because you already have our investor audience lookalikes, which you can utilize and just upload those directly into your account. So it's not even required. And then also we have some extra targeting options. So there are a variety of different options you can select to further narrow down your targeting to your exact ideal investor avatar, including you can select a specific location, so a specific state or city, a certain age range, genders, different interests, and then also the language, which most of the times would be English. Then in step number 10, this is very important as well. You're going to select the placement options for which you would like your targeted audience to actually see your ads on the Facebook or Instagram platform. And this is important as well. So we kind of just already talked about this, but most placements are created as a way to increase their ad inventory, but are a complete waste of money. They're low quality placements. So we recommend to turn off all of the placements that you see on the left side here, except for the Facebook newsfeed, the Instagram newsfeed, and Instagram stories, specifically for cold advertising campaigns. So for retargeting campaigns, you want them to see you virtually everywhere, because they've already been identified as a person who's interested in what you have to offer. Plus also they're qualified if they're in your pipeline. But for cold advertising campaigns, we only want to be on the highest quality placements, which is going to be the Facebook newsfeed, the Instagram newsfeed, and Instagram stories. And then you have some other targeting placement options. So you can choose the different devices that you want to target on. We recommend leaving all those on. You can choose the different platforms and placements. So you can choose if you want it on Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, Audience Network, plus all the specific placements within the platforms. But as we just talked about, you want to make sure it's only on the 3 that we recommend: the Facebook newsfeed, Instagram newsfeed, and Instagram stories. Next is going to be your mobile device or operating system specificity. So you can select if you would like to have your ads on only being shown on specific mobile devices or operating systems. Would not recommend touching that, not required. And then this is also a pro tip here. So you want to select at the bottom of the placements Wi-Fi only. So you can select only when connected to Wi-Fi as a way to identify when a prospect is not on the go, like in their car, or not when they're connected to Wi-Fi, but rather in a set place where they are using Wi-Fi, therefore displaying they may have the time to perform higher effort or time-consuming tasks. So someone's less likely, if they're in the car on the go, to type in all their information on your lead form in comparison to when they're connected to Wi-Fi, which they're most likely in a set place where they have the time in order to perform that action. Next, in step number 11, we're going to be creating your actual ads within your ad set. So you're going to create a campaign name with a proper naming convention to stay organized in your Facebook ad dashboard with the format campaign type, which could be cold for this instance, objective, conversion, instant form leads, your audience, which is going to be your investor audience, and then your creative angle. So for this example, it could be, let's say, an FAQ, it could be banner ad, anything that you would like, just to give a name to your specific creative angle you want to utilize for that advertisement. Then in step number 12, you're going to set up your Facebook advertising campaign with your specific creative angle, including the media. So you're going to be able to add the video or image that will act as your main section for the visual creative angle for your ad, which you want to utilize. Then next we have the body text. So you can add the written creative angle, which you'll utilize to stop the scroll of the prospect to view the rest of the advertisement. Then we have the headline. So you're going to add the written headline that will be seen by the prospect next to the call to action button as a secondary written scroll stopper. Then you have the description text, which is going to be your secondary text underneath the headline to provide supporting information about the headline. We normally like to keep that blank, so they only see the headline. And then you have the call to action button. So you can select a variety of different preset call to action buttons, which prospects will click to pop up your instant lead form. Normally, we just like to use the learn more button. And then finally here, we have part number 7. We're going to be actually setting up the instant form. So for step number 12, you're going to set up your Facebook ad instant form campaign, including all these elements below step by step. So to start off, we have the instant form name. So you're going to type in the name that you would like for your instant form to stay organized within your campaigns. Then we have the form type. So you're going to select the form type which you would like to utilize, either more volume or higher intent, which provides prospects the ability to confirm all info before actually submitting. Normally, you just want to use more volume. Next is going to be intro. The intro section, so you're going to choose the banner image, so you can select the banner image you would like to use for your instant form. Then you have a greeting, so you can write out the headline and description the prospects are going to see when the instant form actually pops up. Then we have the questions section, so you have your custom questions, so you can create the custom qualification questions you would like to ask prospects in the instant form, such as, are you a accredited investor? What is your liquidity? What is your investment experience, etc., personalized to your specific investment strategy. Then next we have the pre-fill questions, so you can select the fields for contact info that you would like prospects to submit in your instant form. So normally that's just going to be their name, email, phone number, maybe their address as well. Then next we have the privacy. So you can type in your privacy policy disclaimer URL to display to prospects on your instant form. And then also we recommend a custom disclaimer. So consult your attorney for this, but you want to type in any custom financial, etc. disclaimers for your related industry to display to prospects on your instant form. And then we have the completion section. So this is going to be your thank you page. So you have the headline. You can type in the headline that you'd like to display on the thank you page of your instant form. You have the description. So you can type in the description that you'd like to display on the thank you page of your instant form. And then you have the call to action button, which you can select the call to action button, which is going to be your website URL. You can have them click to call. You can have them download a specific resource. And also the call to action button text you'd like to display inside the button. And then also if you're utilizing a website URL, you can input that website URL or upload the deliverable or type in your phone number, just depending on the call to action button action that you've selected. So that is how you set up your instant form. So next, we move on to step number 4 for setting up your investor lead generation system. Now that we've actually had the entire ad campaign set up, now we can move into the CRM portion. So you're going to set up your investor pipeline follow-up system within our InvestorFeed CRM. So for step number 1, you're going to set up your investor pipeline inside our InvestorFeed CRM with the following stages, including new leads uncontacted. Then you have your qualified leads. And then you have your scheduled consultation stage. Then you have your held considering stage, your won stage, and your lost stage. So that's normally how we like to set up the stages within your investor pipeline inside the InvestorFeed CRM. You can personalize it based on what you like and your preferences, but that's just a default. Then for step number 2, you're going to integrate your Facebook ad account with our InvestorFeed CRM. You're going to create the custom fields, and you're going to map those fields of your instant form campaign inside the CRM. Once again, we're going to be doing all that live and a little bit further into the training, but just to give you the step-by-step process to start off at a high level. Then next we have step number 3. You're going to set up your InvestorFeed CRM automation to add the new instant form leads to the pipeline stage, new leads, in order to follow up with them so you can see them clearly, you or your investor relations team, directly in your pipeline, so you can follow up with them as soon as possible. That is the most important part of the follow-up system, is getting back to your leads and following up with them as soon as possible, within a couple minutes if possible. Then in step number 5, we're going to be tracking your metrics inside our InvestorFeed dashboard. So as you've already seen, we have our entire digital fundraising dashboard. So this is incredibly critical that you are actually tracking the metrics for your paid advertising campaigns. So for step number 1, you're going to set up your initial projected best, realistic, and worst case scenario KPIs for your instant form campaign so that you can directly forecast your inputs and outputs required in order to hit your capital raising goals. Then in step number 2 is we're going to be utilizing our digital fundraising dashboard. So you're going to be tracking your actual metrics from our Facebook ad, your Facebook ad instant form campaign in our InvestorFeed digital fundraising dashboard, which is custom tailored for your instant form funnel. You're going to be tracking all those metrics on a daily basis, typing them in. And then in step number 3, you can reform your KPIs and your projections in order to reevaluate your input and output forecasts in order to hit your capital raising goals. So now let's go into how we set up these initial KPIs in order to forecast out our required inputs and outputs in order to hit our capital raising goals. So on the left side here, we have all the different KPI metrics that are involved with your instant form campaign with paid advertising. So to start off, you have the cost per click. So what is the cost in order to get a click from Facebook ads? So for this example, we just have a bunch of example KPIs set up for you here, but you want to personalize it based on your specific industry. And then once again, you're going to be reforming these KPIs once you actually launch your campaign and see what the actual KPIs look like. So for this example, we have a cost per click of $10. Then we have our lead opt-in rate. So what amount of clicks actually end up typing in their contact information plus answering your qualification questions in order to become a lead. For this example, we have 25%. So that would equal out a cost per lead of $40. So at a $10 cost per click, 1 out of every 4 clicks actually ends up becoming a lead. That would be a $40 cost per lead. Then we have the accredited investor, or whatever your qualifications are, your investor qualified lead rate. So what percentage of these investors that become a lead actually are qualified? So for this example, we have 80%. So that would be equivalent of a cost per accredited investor qualified lead of $50. Then next we have, what is your qualified lead to investor conversion rate? So what amount of accredited investor or qualified investor leads actually end up becoming an investor in your fund, syndication, etc. So based on a 5% lead to investor conversion rate, so 1 out of every 20 leads actually becomes an investor. That would be a cost per investor of $1,000. And then let's say you have an average investment amount per investor of $50,000. That would be a net capital raised per investor of $49,000 and a total paid advertising campaign return on ad spend of 50x. So that's how we set up our initial KPI metrics. And then once we have those KPI metrics set up, then we can move over to our forecasting calculator. So for this example, we have a desired raised capital amount of $1 million. And now based on the KPIs that we input into this forecasting calculator at $10 cost per click, 25% lead opt-in rate, $40 cost per lead, 80% investor qualified lead rate, $50 cost per qualified lead, a 5% lead to investor conversion rate, a $1,000 cost per investor, and an average investment amount per investor of $50,000, we can now forecast out that it's going to cost us around $20,000 in order to raise our desired capital raised amount of $1 million. So, and then we also have our KPI outputs required. So in order to generate that $1 million in capital raised, we need to get at least 2,000 paid advertising clicks. We need to generate at least 500 leads. At least 400 of those leads need to be qualified, and then we need at least 20 committed investors in order to hit our capital raising goals. So we set up this initial forecast and the initial KPI metrics and our initial forecast based on our projections. And then once we actually launch our campaigns, let's say we run $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 in paid traffic, then we can come back to this calculator and we can reform our KPIs. So let's say our cost per click was actually $5. Well, that's now going to cut our cost per lead essentially in half if all the other metrics are kept constant. So that's going to cut our total paid advertising spend in half as well, with all of our other KPIs kept constant. So essentially what we do is we start off, we do our projections of our KPIs, we do our projections of our forecasts, then we run our paid advertising, find our actual real KPI metrics, and then we come in, we reform our forecasting calculator in order to project out exactly how much we need to spend and how many advertising clicks we need to get, how many leads we need to generate, how many of those leads need to be qualified, how many investors we need in order to hit our capital raising goals. That is how you run a paid advertising campaign for investor lead generation. So now that we've broken down the entire step-by-step process to setting up this campaign, let's actually set up your InvestorFeed minimum viable quick start campaign live right now. So we are now inside our InvestorFeed technology, so we can begin with step number 1 of our InvestorFeed lead generation system, which is going to be cloning the top performing ads with our Investor IQ feature. So the first thing that we want to do here is select the specific industry that we want to see the top performing ads in. So let's say for this example, we are in the multifamily real estate industry. Let's click multifamily real estate. Now we're going to see all the newest ads that are showing up for the multifamily real estate industry within the Facebook ad platform. But what we want to do now is click the days running filtering button. So essentially what this does, as we talked about, is it's going to show the most successful ads based on the number of days that it's been running for. So for example, this ad's been running for 265 days straight. If it's been running for 265 days straight and they're spending, let's say, for example, $50, $100, maybe even $1,000 per day, that means that this ad is currently working for them. So this is the type of ad that we would want to be modeling. So what we want to do next is we can even click the Analyze Ad button here to even see the landing page, go to the landing page URL. So there's a lot of other things that we can do here. But what we want to do here now is we want to copy that ad text and we want to put this in a file so that we can model it for ourselves. So let's post it right in here. Very simple. We can go back here and we can even download the creative as well so that we can model this. We can even send this over utilizing our Quick Hire Rolodex feature. We can download that and send it over to our one of the top 1% pre-vetted quick hire freelancers in order for them to edit it for our specific company and our specific investment offering. So that's another great thing that you can do as well to get a video creative set up very quickly, just modeling exactly what's already proven to be working in your exact investment industry. So that's how we want to start off here. We can bookmark a couple ads here that we like, and then we'll be able to see those ads and come back to them whenever we like. But I normally simply just put it in a Word doc and then kind of just plug and play it based on my specific investment offering. So that's how I would do things personally. So next, once we have our ad set up, now we can go to our InvestorAudience Network feature. So what we want to do here is we want to click Request Investor Audience, and then you're going to have to type in your Facebook ad account ID in order for to allow us to essentially automatically import that investor audience directly into your Facebook ad account. So just for example here, what you want to do, this is going to be an example demo account of a Facebook ad dashboard. So you're going to look at this specific Facebook ad ID. This is exactly where it's going to be right here. And then you want to copy that, and then you're going to paste it right inside here. So whatever that Facebook ad ID is going to be, then click to move to step 2, and now we can actually go through and select from our catalog of investor audiences that we're dynamically adding new investor audiences virtually every single month. So let's say, for example, we want to do multifamily real estate investors in Texas. So this is a lookalike investor audience of over 1 million people, specifically in Texas. So expanded location-based lookalike audience specifically in Texas of multifamily real estate property owners that own at least $1 million plus of multifamily real estate. So let's say, for example, we have a multifamily real estate fund or a syndication within Fort Worth, Texas, for example. Then this would be a great lookalike investor audience for us to use to find a bunch of high quality investors that are not just financially qualified, but also based on the advanced lookalike algorithms that are utilized through the Facebook platform, of people that are not just financially qualified, but also interested in investing in multifamily real estate. That's the power of these algorithms in comparison to, traditional fundraising strategies where you have no understanding whatsoever if a person, let's say for a doctor or a lawyer or some other form of high net worth person, is actually interested in your investment type. So that's also very important. That's why this is so incredibly powerful. So we select that right there, and then we click Request Investor Audience, and then we're going to see the status is currently pending, and within a couple of minutes, it should be imported directly into this specific advertising account of the Facebook ad ID that we just typed in. So that's exactly how you request investor audiences. And now in the next step, we can go into our Facebook ad dashboard in order to create our Facebook Instant Form campaign. So we're now back inside our Facebook ad demo account, so we can begin in building out our Facebook Instant Form campaign. So the first thing that we want to do here is go to the Create Campaign button and click on that. Then we want to select the campaign objective of leads so that we can utilize the Instant Form feature, as you can see right here. Then next we want to select the manual leads campaign so we can build out our campaign manually. Then we can start off in typing in our naming conventions. So as we talked about, we want to start off with the name of the company, so I Am Capital. Then we move into the campaign type, which for example is going to be a cold advertising campaign. Then we type in the campaign objective, which is going to be conversion instant form leads. Then we don't need to make any other changes here. We can just click the next button, and we move into the ad set level of our campaign. So to start off, we're going to type in the campaign type for the naming convention, so cold. Then we can move into the conversion objective, which is going to be conversion instant form leads once again. And now we can select the audience as well. So this is going to be our uploaded investor audience. So let's just use the naming convention, multifamily Texas. Then next we can select the conversion location. So it already has it pre-selected as instant forms. That's perfect. And then we can move into the budget. So as we talked about, we want to select a budget of at least 2 to 3x our target CPA. So let's say, for example, our target CPA here would be $50 per instant form lead. Then I would say bare minimum, you want to do at least $100 per day. You can select less, but just to have the best performance, you want to try to do at least 2 to 3x the target CPA. Then next we can move into the audience controls. So our audience is already within the Texas area, so we don't really need to do this, but we can also, if we want to filter it even farther, we can just select Texas here as well. But for this example, I'm not going to do that. We can select the minimum age. So let's say we're not going to have 18-year-old investors investing, 100K. So we most likely want to select the minimum age of at least 25. And then always want to make sure to select whatever your actual language is so you aren't getting random spam leads and wasting money. So that's how we would do this. And then we can also, this is where we're going to be selecting our actual audiences. So you can use original audience, or we can do Advantage Plus audiences. But just for this example, we're going to do use original audience. So for this example, this is exactly where we would be selecting our multifamily Texas investor audience. So I have a couple dummy audiences here. So this would be where your multifamily Texas investor audience would be showing up, and then you would just simply select it to advertise to that specific audience. So then next we move into the placements. So as we talked about before, you want to make sure for the placements that we are actually selecting our own manual placements and not allowing Facebook to select the placements. So you want to take off Advantage Plus placements and select manual placements. And then you want to turn off all of the low quality placements. So as we talked about, you only want to be on the Facebook feed, the Instagram feed, and then you want to turn off all these other ones because these are low quality placements. We found, just based on millions of dollars in advertising spend, that the best placements for specifically only cold advertising. If you're doing retargeting, you want to leave all these on so you create an omnipresent effect. But with cold advertising, you want to turn off all these lower quality placements and only show up in the news feeds. And then, like we talked about as well, you want to make sure to select only when connected to Wi-Fi so that a person's in a set location, they have the time in order to perform, in order to type in all their contact information, and they're not on the go or in the car or something like that. Then we can select next. Okay, so now we're going to be actually setting up our ad. So to start off, we need to type in the naming convention. So it's going to be campaign type, which is cold, then the conversion objective, which is going to be conversion instant form leads. Then next is going to be the audience. So that's going to be multifamily, Texas. And then lastly is going to be the creative angle, so the name of your ad. So let's just say, for example, it's going to be graphic number 1. So next here, make sure that multifamily advertising ads is turned off. And then for the ad creative, I have a preset creative already in here, but this is exactly where you would be uploading your modeled creative, whether that be a video or an image from the top performing ads. So that's exactly where you would be uploading this. And then it would show up right here. And then next is going to be your primary text. So this is going to be the text that's going to show up at above your ad. So invest in multifamily real estate in Texas. So this is where you would plug and play your body text that you modeled directly from the top performing ads in our Investor IQ feature. That's where you would copy and paste that, and then the headline here. So you would also be cloning that from our Investor IQ feature from the top performing ads. So let's just say, for example, invest in multifamily real estate. So you can see, for example, it's going to show up right here. And then you want to make sure to not include any description. That just takes away from the headline. So I normally just like to place a space in there so make sure that doesn't show it. And then we can give the call to action. So we normally like to keep this as learn more. That's the best performing call to action button we've seen. And then next here is when we can begin in building out our instant form, the most important part. So to start off, as we talked about, you want to start off in creating the form name. So let's just call this multifamily Texas form. And then we can start off with the form type. So normally just like to keep it as more volume. So that's how you want to start off that there. Then we can move into the intro. So you can add a background image if you like. And then this is the most important part here. So the greeting. So we can just type in invest in multifamily real estate. Then we can type in a description, type in your info below to receive our investment offering for our deal in Fort Worth, Texas. So you can see a preview of all the information right here. And then we can move into our questions. So this is the very important part here. So you're going to have your pre-fill questions, which is going to be email, name. I normally like to show name first, then email, and then we're going to put obviously phone number as well, so you can be contacting them as soon as possible. So name, email, phone number, that's perfect. And then we have our own custom questions. So this is going to be where we're going to be asking any of our custom qualification questions. So for example, are you an accredited investor? So that we can automatically qualify them up front, yes or no. And they can simply just click right here. Let's do another one here. Multifamily multiple choice. So next here, let's say, have you ever invested in real estate before? Invested in real estate before? Yes, no. So these will just be personalized to your specific industry, but you want to make sure to include at least 1 or 2 qualification questions so that when you're following up with these people, you know if they're already qualified right off the bat. And then also when we're plugging this information in to our InvestorFeed CRM, you'll be able to immediately see which leads are qualified and which leads have not shown to be qualified yet. So you can follow up with the hottest leads that are already proven to be qualified based on their qualification questions. So once you have those questions set up, then we can move into the privacy policy. So you're just typing in whatever your privacy policy link is. You can add that there. And then also, if you have any custom financial disclosures, normally you want to include these here as well. And then this is going to be your thank you page. So the message for leads. Congrats. You've deal. And then you can include the description. We'll send over your investment offering summary in to your email. And then if you want to give them a link to your website, as we talked about in the training here, you can give them a link to your website so they can click here to go directly to your website. You can actually give them the file right here so they can download it natively within the Facebook platform, and you can even allow them to just call you immediately with their click-to-call feature as well. So that's how you would do that here. Let's just say, for example, InvestorFeed.org. Oops. InvestorFeed.org. So that's how we would create this form. And then we can create form. And once the form's created, it'll show up right here. And then we can simply just click publish and our instant form campaign will be set up. So next, once our instant form campaign is set up, as we talked about, we want to now be pushing these leads once our ad campaign gets approved, which should be within the next couple hours at most. It would be 24 hours. But we want to be setting up our investor pipeline follow-up system in our CRM next, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing so that we can push these leads that we're generating through our instant form campaign directly into our CRM so we can follow up with them as soon as possible, because that's the most important part with this entire system here, is getting to your leads as quickly as possible. Okay, so we are now inside our InvestorFeed CRM, so we can begin with step number 1 of our investor pipeline follow-up system, which is actually setting up each and every stage within our pipeline. So to start off here, we want to click on the Opportunities tab in the left sidebar here. Then we want to click on the sub-tab Pipelines, then click the Create New Pipeline button. And we can start off here by typing in the name of our pipeline. So for this example, we're going to be utilizing Fort Worth multifamily prospects, and then we can type in each and every stage of our pipeline. So once again, you can personalize this based on your own preferences or industry, but I'm just going to type in the defaults right here that we talked about in our training. So new leads uncontacted. Then next is qualified leads. Then next is scheduled consultation. Then next is no-show/canceled. Then next is held considering, or the nurture stage, and then won and lost. So once we're finished, just click save. And now that pipeline should show up in our pipelines. And then we can also select the pipeline and see every stage in the Opportunities tab. So once we start generating new leads, we're going to be able to see each and every one of these leads in a specific pipeline stage and drag and drop them into whatever stage they're currently in. So that's how we set up our pipeline. Now in step number 2, we want to actually add our leads to the pipeline from our instant forms. So the best part about this, once again, like we talked about in the training, is we already have all these automations set up for you. You just have to plug and play your own personalized information into it. So to start off here, in order for our automations to actually work, we need to set up an integration so that our Facebook ad account is integrated with our InvestorFeed CRM. So we're going to click integrations right here. And then what you want to do is you want to click connect. So our account is already integrated. So you basically just need to click connect, and then it'll ask you your password, and then you simply just connect your ad account. So it's very, very simple. As you can see here, our selected page, InvestorFeed, is already connected. So the next thing here is you want to click on this Facebook Forms field mapping tab, and then you're going to see your form right here that you created for your specific instant form campaign, and then you can click map fields. So the problem here is you'll be able to automatically set up the fields here, and it'll most likely map it automatically for you for full name, email, and phone number from your instant form. But for this, this is a custom form field right here, so you'll need to create that custom field in your InvestorFeed CRM to start off with. So I'll show you exactly how to do that. It's very, very simple. Just click add field right here, then click drop down. So for example, if it's a drop down, you want to click drop down and then next, and then you're going to type in the name. So are you an accredited investor? That's the example that I used in my specific instant form. So are you an accredited investor? And then you can just type in yes or no. So this would be personalized based on what your questions are, but this is exactly how you would set up your custom field. Then you would just click save. I already have this custom field in mind, so I don't need to do that, but for any custom field that you're going to be utilizing in your instant form, you want to make sure that those are already set up. So whether it's a drop down, whether it's an open-ended question, whatever it is, you want to make sure to create that custom field here so that you can select it once you actually map the fields in your InvestorFeed CRM. So next thing here, let's go back to integrations, Facebook form fields mapping, then select the specific instant form field, map fields, and then we'll be able to find the specific field that we're going to be mapping. So for this example, are you accredited investor? We will put that in right there, click save, and now it'll actually map it inside our InvestorFeed CRM. So all that information will get put into and transferred into our InvestorFeed CRM. So now we can move back to the automations tab, digital fundraising templates, add to pipeline. And you'll see that these are already basically set up for you. So for this trigger, you want to select Facebook instant form lead form submitted. And then you're going to want to select your specific form. So you're going to be able to select your specific instant form right here. It'll show the name, and then you're going to click save trigger. And then the next part here, so that basically what happens now is the trigger means this is what is going to trigger this automation and happening. So for this specific example, the Facebook lead form has been submitted. The filter is it's this specific lead form that you just selected. So anyone that submits that lead form is now going to be put through this automation, and it's going to create an opportunity. So this is the one that you want to select, create or update opportunity. So just so you can see me actually do it here, opportunity, create opportunity. So that's what you would select. And then you can select which pipeline. So for this example, it's going to be Fort Worth multifamily prospects. Then you're going to be able to select which stage. So for this one, it's going to be new leads uncontacted. And then for the opportunity name, you want to put their specific name in here. You can do any information. This is just what's going to show up in the actual pipeline. So opportunity name, and this one could be Facebook instant form. For the opportunity source, you can type in a lead value, normally just keep that blank, and then just keep the status as open. And then you can leave both of these off. So allow opportunity to move to any previous stage, turn that off, allow duplicate opportunities, turn that off, and just click save action. And that's the first automation, very, very simple. This is simply just adding these new leads to the pipeline from your Facebook lead form. So all that information is getting transferred into your pipeline. Then click publish, and this workflow will be set up for you. So that's the very simple first MVP, I guess your minimum viable automation that you can select, just so all of the new leads are now going to show up right here so that you can immediately contact them with all their contact information, email, phone number, etc. And then you can drag and drop them to wherever you like. If they ended up not typing in any of their specific information, let's say, for example, they answered no to one of your questions, and then you called them and it actually turned out that they were qualified, then you can simply just drag them over to the qualified leads. But for the other automation that you can set up for your MVP campaign, it's going to be add to pipeline qualified leads. So this is going to automatically add them to your qualified leads stage of your pipeline if they are proven to answer your are you a accredited investor, whatever your qualification questions were, as yes. So for this example, Facebook lead form submitted, and then inform, and then select your lead form, and then you're going to add a second filter here for the custom field. Did they actually say yes? And then, so this trigger is only, this automation is only going to trigger if they filled out your Facebook instant form, and also they answered yes to the fact that they are an accredited investor, proving that they're a qualified lead. And then you can add any other qualifications with your custom fields as well, if you'd like. So what we do here now is we add them to the qualified leads stage of your pipeline. So qualified leads, so it just automatically adds them there. So the reason that I like to set up this automation as well, so you just click save there and then publish. The reason I like to utilize this one as well is because, as we all know, your investor relations team wants to follow up with the highest quality people as soon as possible. So we want to make sure to have a specific stage for these leads and have them automatically get added, so that when your investor relations team or yourself sees that there was a new lead that is qualified, you can get back to them and prioritize them in your follow-up process to get back to them as soon as possible. Once again, the most important part of our investor pipeline follow-up system is to get to your leads as soon as possible. That's going to be the difference in your conversion rate, your overall investor or your overall lead to investor conversion rate. You need to be getting back to your leads as soon as possible, but if you can't get back to them within a 1 to 3 minute window, then your conversion rate is going to drop off drastically, and your overall pickup rate, just the people that are going to answer your phone call or your email or your text, etc., it's going to drop off drastically. So you need to make sure to get back to these people as soon as possible. So that's exactly why we set up this pipeline like this. So that's exactly how you set up your MVP campaign. with your investor pipeline follow-up system. There's a bunch of other automations that we can set up, but as we talked about, this is just an MVP, a minimum viable campaign setup, so you can start generating leads as soon as possible and calling them as soon as possible. So that's the InvestorFeed CRM portion of this training. Now let's move into the final step here, which is tracking your metrics in your InvestorFeed digital fundraising dashboard. Okay, so now that we've set up our Facebook ad instant form campaign, we're generating leads. Those leads are now being transferred into our InvestorFeed CRM. Now for the final step of our InvestorFeed MVP campaign is going to be tracking your actual metrics of your advertising campaigns. So here we are in our InvestorFeed software. Once again, we're in the digital fundraising analytics dashboard where we can go to the investor funnels tab of our dashboard, and we can see instant form funnel. So this is exactly where we're going to be reporting on a daily basis our metrics. So what we want to do here in order to report our metrics is going to be clicking this button right here, and then we can type in each and every metric within our campaign. So where are we pulling this information from? Well, we're pulling it from two different sources. Number one is going to be our actual Facebook ad dashboard, which we're going to be going into in a second here, and then also your InvestorFeed CRM. So what we want to do is start off here. So for our ad spend, impressions, CPM, reach, and clicks, we can grab all of that from our ad dashboard here. So this is exactly how you want to have your advertising dashboard set up, all these different columns. So what you want to do here, you can go to customize columns, and then you can set it up exactly as we have right here. So you can select all these. I'll show you the exact setup right here. So we have delivery, budget, amount spent, frequency, impressions, cost per 1,000 impressions, reach, unique link clicks, unique CTR, which is going to be click-through rate, cost per unique link click, number of leads, cost per lead, and then we also like to leave this information up as well, which is just video average playtime if you're utilizing a video, just so we can see the consumption stats there as well to see if the people are engaging with our video. So that's how we like to set up the different columns. And then once you have your column set up, you can see all of them right here. And then we can simply just copy and paste for each and every day. We can copy and paste the information directly into our InvestorFeed digital fundraising dashboard. So to start off, we have amount spent. We can grab that right here. Then we have impressions. We can grab that right here. CPM, we can grab that right here. Reach, we can grab right here. And then unique link clicks, we can grab right here. So we can grab all that information. Let's say we spent $100. We spent $100 on that campaign, put it right there. Let's say we got 1,000 impressions. Let's say our cost per 1,000 impressions was $50. Let's say the reach was 500. Number of clicks was, let's say, 10 clicks. So as you can see here, it's automatically calculating the click-through rate and then also the CPC. So based on a cost per 1,000 impressions of $50 and 10 clicks, that would be a $10 cost per click, and then the CTR would be the amount of clicks per impression. So 10 clicks out of 1,000 impressions would be a 1% CTR. So we can either grab the number of leads from our dashboard, or we can also grab it from our InvestorFeed CRM right within the pipeline. The better way of doing things would be to grab it directly from the pipeline. So that's what I would do personally. So you can really get because sometimes with the Facebook attribution, it doesn't attribute all of the leads because it just attributes based on the number of conversions with the pixel. So it's better to go directly in your dashboard and see how many leads were generated for that specific day. So let's just say, for example, we got 2 leads out of 10 clicks. That would be a 20% lead conversion rate, $50 cost per lead because you spent $100 that day, got 2 leads. And then you can also go into your dashboard to see how many of those leads were qualified. So let's just say, for example, one of those leads were qualified. That would be a 50% qualified lead rate. That would be a $100 cost per qualified lead because you got one qualified lead, and then you spent $100 for that day. And then for this specific example, we're not calculating scheduled calls unless we incorporated that into our instant form campaign. But for this example, we're just doing instant forms just to generate leads. So that wouldn't be available. So that's how we would set that up, and then you can see all that information right here for the specific day, and then you can just continuously keep on adding that information in, and then you'll be able to look back at that each and every day by utilizing the date selector here as well. And then you can see all the information in your view right here. So the purpose of this is the number one most important part of running paid traffic for any campaign. You need to be tracking your data, and then once again, going back and reforming your KPIs in order to forecast the total amount of output and also advertising spend you need in order to hit your your specific capital raising goals, and then also coming in and optimizing your campaigns. So let's say, for example, we had a super high cost per click. Let's say it was like $50. That would mean that, and we have a super low CTR, which means the amount of people that are actually clicking on our ads. Then that would mean we need to go back to the drawing board and write up a new ad, maybe some new copy, or maybe create a brand new creative, video or image for our creative, maybe change out our headline. So these stats are incredibly important because it tells us what's the bottleneck in our funnel right now. Is our lead conversion rate super low? So the amount of people that are clicking on our ad but aren't actually typing in their contact information, well, maybe we need to switch up the messaging on our instant form then if we're getting a super low lead conversion rate. So these are just all the different metrics that you need to see in order to optimize your campaigns, and then basically forecast out exactly the amount of spend you need to end up spending for your specific digital fundraising campaign in order to hit your capital raising goals. So that's why it's incredibly important. I would say the most important part of any digital fundraising campaign is tracking your metrics. And that's why we have this beautiful digital fundraising analytics dashboard for you. We're custom tailored for digital fundraising that you can just type in your specific metrics each and every day so that you can review them and optimize to clear out the bottlenecks and hit your capital raising goals. So that's exactly how you use your digital fundraising analytics dashboard. And this basically closes out the MVP campaign setup guide. Congrats, you've now fully set up your InvestorFeed MVP Quick Start campaign to begin generating 5 to 10 plus qualified inbound investor leads per day. So the next steps here would be to actually set up each of the 9 extra components of our digital fundraising operating system in combination with your InvestorFeed MVP campaign to predictably raise capital on autopilot. So here is the rest of the 9 components of our InvestorFeed digital fundraising operating system. So we have our unique investment thesis. So you can craft the unique and differentiated thesis behind your core investment strategy to promote to high net worth investors for enhanced response and overall advertising performance. Then next we have your online investor attraction platform. So you're going to lay the foundation of your online platform to attract your ideal investor avatar and educate them on your unique investment thesis with relevant evergreen content. Then next we have the ChatGPT AI content creation engine to deploy cutting edge AI technology to automate the creation of high quality engaging content across all online platforms with unmatched efficiency. Then next we have your conversion content amplification formula to leverage our InvestorFeed investor audiences with paid advertising platforms to instantly amplify your targeted conversion content directly to our $100 billion plus network of pre-qualified high net worth investors. Then we have your intent-based inbound acquisition investor funnels to systemize your inbound high net worth investor lead flow with an automated acquisition investor funnel that converts ice cold strangers into interested investors on autopilot 24/7, 365. Then next we have your omnipresent authority retargeting matrix to build an omnipresent filter bubble around high net worth investor prospects that engage with your platform across 99% of the internet with retargeting to establish yourself as the #1 perceived authority for your investment strategy. Then next we have your P2P or pay to play social media system to transform your dead social media accounts into an automated evergreen system that educates, nurtures, and converts prospective investors in your pipeline. Then once they're in your pipeline, we have your investor pipeline nurture automations, where you can plug in our sequence of proven and tested nurture automations to develop a pipeline of lifetime repeat investors on autopilot, allowing you to easily raise large amounts of capital whenever you launch any new investment offerings with just a couple simple emails or calls. And then to bring it all together, we have your control center KPI analytics dashboard, where you can install our control center CEO dashboard, which will provide you a Hawkeye's view of virtually every single KPI metric within your digital fundraising operation in order to hit your capital raising goals. So when you leverage InvestorFeed in synergy with our digital fundraising operating system, you're able to establish what we call the digital fundraising flywheel with your investor acquisition operation, where you launch your investment offering to the public, begin running paid advertising with our investor audiences to attract and convert qualified prospective investors with unprecedented efficiency, in combination with your organic social media, which is attracting new prospective investors as well, while also simultaneously educating and building connection with your existing leads in your pipeline, and ultimately converting them into actual investors, all happening 24/7, 365 on autopilot without any manual time or effort required. And then if you're fulfilling on your promises and providing those quality returns and benefits, then you'll also receive what we like to call the afterburner effect of your existing investors in your pipeline, referring even more investors, which is just free investor growth with zero extra advertising costs. So our digital fundraising operating system in combination with InvestorFeed is a predictable, scalable, and self-sustaining system of investor acquisition where you can control your lead flow like a faucet and choose to turn it up or down based on your operational capacity that operates 24/7, 365, essentially on autopilot, generating discovery amongst new prospective investors, educating them and building connection through your strategically created conversion content that you create once and can be viewed at scale with zero extra time or effort, and then finally and ultimately converting them into hot quality qualified leads within your pipeline for your investor relations team. This is the ultimate system to future-proofing your investor acquisition strategy and establishing a competitive edge by getting in on the ground floor of this new, better way to connect with investors and establishing your data economies of scale moat before everyone else catches on over the next couple years. So that is the entire training. Just to give a quick recap, we went over the new predictable, automated, and scalable method of connecting with high net worth investors online. We went over how our $100 billion plus Investor Audience Network has unlocked the ability to advertise direct to investor online. We went through the entire step-by-step guide to setting up a Facebook ads investor lead generation MVP campaign. And then we also went through our proprietary digital fundraising operating system to use in combination with your investor lead generation MVP campaign to raise capital on autopilot for virtually any business venture. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to contact us at info@investorfeed.org or go to our website and schedule a call.